What up? What is going on with y'all? It's good to be here. We out. No countdown clock. Making some changes. Right to the content. Right to the content. What's good, fam? What is good with you? Hoping that everybody's doing well today. I see one person has joined us already. This is the Coaching Corner. Hey. It's a great day to ask questions. She said it. She's correct. We missed you yesterday, Florence. Just letting you know. Just wanted to say it publicly. We missed you yesterday for morning motivation. Definitely missed you. What's going on with my laptop? Got to get the laptop right. All right, there we go. Otherwise, you can't see, my how it all works picture back there. It's part of the set, It's part of the design, part of what we do here. 4 people on the live today already. I feel like I'm not in the middle or something. I don't know. I need to adjust the camera a little bit. I got my drives here. Take these with me. I want to say this, man, we've had some really phenomenal coaching corners over the last couple of weeks. We've had Monty Weaver on, we had Leslie Samuel on. And for those that have not been updated, Leslie Samuel came on and talked about how his YouTube channel was hacked. Then he got it back. But then because of the content that the people who hacked his site were streaming on his page, YouTube actually took his site down, his YouTube channel down. And so then from there, he had to go through a whole process to reinstate his channel, to get his channel reinstated. And so now he's got that channel reinstated. When he came on last Wednesday, it was not reinstated. He was hoping that it would be reinstated soon, but I'm here to tell you that it was reinstated. I think it was Friday. He got his channel back, and we're excited to be able to share. We celebrate with him. So excited that it wasn't a long, drawn out process, that he was able to get his channel back, and now he's back to creating content. There's new content on the channel already. So definitely excited about that, and excited for him, man. If you don't know Leslie, he's just a good guy all around. All right, 3 of you guys on the live, and I see my guy Kerwin Bornell is on the joint saying, what's up, Coach Kirk? I've not seen anybody put the K for Coach. Kerwin. I think you're on to something here. Coach Kirk with a K. Of course it's with a K, right? Yeah. He says, man, looking good as usual. I thank you. You're more generous than I deserve. I thank you for that. Just coming from eating a very balanced lunch. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's trying to get in shape. And don't come and tell me that round is a shape. That's not a thing today. We're not doing that. But I will say this. We have had some really cool coaching corner experiences over the last couple of weeks. But as great as those have been, I intentionally planned nothing for today. Meaning, when we have a coaching client, when we have a guest coach, there is banter that happens across, myself and that person, because of course they're here with me on screen. So I've got to, make sure I chat with them. But I did not want to have a guest today, because today I wanted to focus my attention on you. So what does that mean? That means your questions are my agenda. Your questions are that's all we're here to focus on today. Kerwin says, I'm always onto something. I see it. One of the things that I just noticed over the last maybe day or so is that the viewer count button on the Stream Deck is now working, right? This was not working. This is viewer count button right here. It wasn't working. And hadn't been working for weeks. months. So I don't know whose fault that was, but one of those updates between Ecamm and Stream Deck, one of them fixed it. And I am so glad, because I use that. I like to look at that just to kind of give myself a point of reference. There's 5 people on the live. I want to thank you for being here with us today. And I want to encourage you to come through with your questions. Now, while you guys are getting your questions ready, now let me just say a word of caution. This is not what's the term I'm looking for? We are not going to be on here all day. This is the Coaching Corner with Kirk, so you can ask whatever questions you want. Any question you want pertaining to content creation, live streaming, platform specific questions, whether it's StreamYard, Restream, Ecamm, EVMux, it doesn't matter what your question is. Go ahead and ask your question in the chat, put a Q and a colon in front of it, and we're going to get that question answered. But I want to share that we will not be here all day. We'll be here for another 54 minutes. And so what that means is, because this always happens, y'all. We get to the 20-minute mark, and then questions are flooding in. And I'm like, but y'all, we had time at the beginning. You could have just, you could have asked your questions then. Anyway, so that's the first thing I want to share. And I'm hoping that you guys will dig deep in your bag of questions, because I see your questions on the videos. I see your questions on the videos, but I hope that you'll dig deep in your bag of questions and you'll let me know what your question is for today. Now, we had a masterclass scheduled for this past Sunday, that did not happen. And I did want to touch on that as well. This is kind of a community space where we get a chance to just kind of chop it up. So I did want to touch on that. We did not meet our minimum threshold in terms of sales. And so once we got into, I think it was Friday or Thursday, we had to make a call. And my team was like, what are we going to do? I said, let's just pull the plug, and we'll send each person that did buy some options. And so the 2 options for those that did purchase the class is number 1, you can get a half-hour training session with me that's worth $125. Or number 2, you can get a full refund. Those are the 2. Now, people that paid for their, for their seat, they paid $67 in most cases. There are those who had coupons and maybe they got $5 off or something like that, but they paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $60-something. So we felt that either giving them a full refund or giving them a half-hour coaching session, that would be a great way of saying thank you, even though we did not meet our minimum threshold. And so we weren't able to do the masterclass. However, I am planning to record the contents of that, what would have been shared in that class, because it's already prepared. I'm planning to record it and chop it up into some modules and make it available as a course on my website, kirkarnugent.com. So that is going to be coming soon. I hope that will be useful to you. So definitely, dive in and let me know what you think on that. And then lastly, before we get into anything else, I did want to go over a couple of items. Let's go to preview mode. All right, here we go. Whoa. All right. Back to live. What is happening? Oh, okay. Got it. I see it now. I was like, yo, what just took place? Okay. Sometimes you got to figure out your own stuff. So here is the website, kirkarnugent.com. I reference it a good amount. So I just want to kind of showcase a couple of things to you here. Let's get that Pro Mouse turned on. All right. So here we go. Right here, there's a work with us button. Also here, build your brand with live video. Also here, where it says learn more under produce your podcast, conference, or web show, start your live video journey today. We can help. All three of those buttons take you to the same place. If you want to go to coaching, it's here. If you want to go to our craziest offer ever, the live video course bundle with graphics, it's here. You can literally go to the buy now page. You click that, it's going to open up the buy now page. It even has a video for me on there where I'm like, yo, this is bananas, but we're making it happen. And then we also throw in, we ask that you consider bundling it with the Workers Warehouse community membership. Workers Warehouse. In the warehouse, let me tell you, in the warehouse, you will find all the things that you will need to build your brand with live video. In the warehouse, you find all the things you need to launch as a content creator. In the warehouse, coaches, authors, and consultants are also there, building in DIY fashion their own setup. In the warehouse, some of my all of our coaching clients also have access to the warehouse. So I wanted to make sure you guys are aware of the warehouse. Workers Warehouse is our community group, and we're excited about it. We've got a number of things coming down the pike for the warehouse. So the live video course bundle and graphics is a great buy, but a phenomenal pairing for that buy is the warehouse. Now, in this course bundle, you're going to get all of our current courses. So it's about 5 of them. And you'll also get 5 different graphics packages, which you can see on screen. It's 60 plus graphics. It's bananas. It is crazy. In that course bundle, you cover StreamYard, Ecamm, remote production, content creation for ministry, course creation, and then you'll get all those graphics packages. So that's what that bundle looks like. And so that's what we wanted to share there. If you're interested, however, in coaching, let me pause that. If you're interested in coaching, we do have a whole coaching page. You can schedule right there on the coaching page, consult session, step 3, select which way you want to be coached. So that whole page is there, very clearly defined, and something that is a growing portion of our offering here. But as I mentioned, these 3 buttons in the middle, work with us, build your brand with live video, and then learn more, they all go to the same place. They all go to the same place. This is our shows, the Coaching Corner with Kirk, ta-da, Morning Motivation and Media, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, then the Why I Go Live podcast, Thursdays at 6 p.m. All of them are Central Time. Several other things on the page as well. You might want to check them out. I'm just letting you know, you just might want to check them out. There's a lot there. So now, if we go to this Work With Us page, you go to the page that pretty much if you see a link in my description, it's because this page, it's probably going to point to this page. Now, I want to come back to my comments just to make sure I haven't missed anybody. I see a question. I'm going to star that. I see, On the Next podcast is with us today. 12 of you guys are on live. 2 people hit the like button already. All right, I'm going to finish up what I was sharing on the next, and I'm going to come right to your question. On the Work With Us page, you can purchase a video podcast package. You can hire us to be your remote producers. We just picked up a client that we're going to be doing their live show every second and fourth Sunday evenings. We'll be doing their live show as their remote producers. So we're excited about that. And we're going to be applying best practices. It's kind of a combination where we'll be producing their show, but then we'll also be kind of taking care of some of the behind the scenes stuff and helping them to do some of the repurposing. In fact, this particular client also, their team does a strategy session with me once a month. So people are starting to kind of stack some of the services. And as we see how other clients are doing things, we may actually bundle some of these as well. Consulting and coaching, they're all there. They're available. You can book a session for $250 for the hour. That's why I said the half-hour session is $125 value, but you can pay for it. You don't have to, you don't have to win it. You can pay for it, even though we do have some giveaways coming up here pretty soon. Branded graphics package. There's this is not the bundle that we talked about earlier. This is an actual branded graphics package where your name, your logo, all your stuff, we've custom created. It does have bumper videos, intro, outro with credits, everything that you would ever need for your live show, whether you use them or not, it's all here. Then we have graphic design, video editing, those are some of the things that you can grab very quickly and easily. Did I mention Workers Warehouse? The Workers Warehouse community in the warehouse. In the warehouse, you find all the tools, all the materials, all the things that you would ever need for your content creation journey. And then there's a couple of sample resources that we have available for you, but you can visit the store there. Then of course, at the bottom, you have Consider Coaching. That's what the page looks like. I wanted to make sure we go over that. Don't want to go long without people knowing that that is a possibility. And also, that this is something that we are very much committed to working towards. I see on their next podcast, put the fire emoji in there. I love it. 13 of you guys on the live. I want to say this again, even as I get ready to take some questions. This is a Q&A show. So while I am sharing a couple of things that we have going on, this is a Q&A show. So listen, the Coaching Corner is at noon on Wednesdays, Central Time. So maybe it's 1 for you, or maybe it's, 10 for you if you're out west or if you're out east, not sure. But if you're in the Lord's time zone, the Central Time zone, it's somewhere at the midday. 12:16 is what I have on my clock. Because this is a midday show, I usually do it by myself, meaning nobody's here. Like, my wife is at a meeting outside of the home. Our kids are at school, so the door is open. This generally does not happen. That door is always closed, and you can now see out of the door and see into what we call the game room in the upstairs the second floor of our house, and then into my son's room, which he's got a kind of a dark blue theme going in there. But I love that depth, when that door opens. This is just a whole nother cheat code. I'm just sharing with you. Sometimes just opening and closing a door is a little Easter egg for those who are regular watchers of your content. Every now and again, I like to record one of my videos with the door kind of cracked, but then I have the lights on out there and it creates this yellow glow around the door. Come on, y'all. I'm giving y'all game. Y'all not even, I'm giving you game. You're not even about that life. There's actually a light right there. There's a LED GVM light right there that has recently been added. There's actually a light over here as well. ESDDI light box. You can see it better now now that I put the mic down, but it's over there. And those lights are permanently in this space because of our show on Monday nights, the Incubator's Couch. And we do the Incubator's Couch from this right here. And in fact, if you're good, now only if you're good, I may actually give you a quick little tour, but I got to answer this question first. So make sure you ask your questions in the chat. Make sure you let us know what you're trying to do with content. Oh, cool. Look at that. I was thinking that this thing was off, but I was incorrect. All right. Okay. So it says there. All right, boom. So if I hit the top down, all right, there it is. Oh, what am I seeing? Oh, that's just shadow on the floor. Okay. I was like, what's in front of the camera? No, that's just shadow on the floor. So this is an A6000, Sony A6000 with the kit lens on it. So it isn't prime. I can zoom in on my desk and I can showcase whatever is happening here. So that's something really fun that I always like to engage with. So that's the A6000. And then I'd like to make sure I'm able to come back to the main shot. You can see I'm back. But then I also have a camera behind me here that for some reason will not come on. It just won't, but I'll be able to showcase some of that stuff with you in just a second. Okay. Our first question of the day is from On Their Next Podcast. He says, easiest and most effective way to design countdown clocks for StreamYard. All right. Roll up my sleeves. N.A. Naya is here. Thank you so much for being with us today. We truly appreciate it. Is David Hunt here? I didn't see David. Oh, David is here. My bad. I missed all of these. Hi, Ibrahim. What's good, man? Thank you so much. JJS Tech is in the live. What's up? How it all works, fam. I love it. Micah Flemings is here. Oh, love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh man, Ananea, Computer Pals, as I learned so much from you. Thank you so much for coming through. Yeah. 13 of you guys on the live, 7 likes already. Thank you so much. All right, so let's keep this in mind. Let's keep this question in mind. Easiest and most effective way to design countdown clocks for StreamYard. Now, I'm gonna go through this, but I will say that this isn't an exact science. Am I saying that right? Yeah, this is not an exact science, meaning there's many ways to go about this, and I'm just gonna share with you one of them. All right. Now I feel like I do not want to mess up this. I don't want to mess this up for future shows, so I'm going to make a copy of this scene first before I do anything else. For those that want to see what I'm doing, this is what it looks like. I want to make myself a little bit bigger, so I'm going to unlock the screen share, pull that over some, because I don't have a guest today, and I do want to give myself a little bit of more space, just a little bit. Oh, it's set to tall, so we got to change it from tall to custom and put that back. And now, yeah, there we go. Oh, I can breathe again. All right, there we go. We'll just bring it in a little bit more right there. All right, better, I think. Let's do that and lock back that camera. Let's unlock the screen share. Yeah, make it a little bit bigger because, you know, we're doing a demo. I want you guys to be actually see what we're showing here. All right, now we can lock that back, come out of end live demo mode. Just that easy. All right, so now let's go back over here. Let's go to StreamYard and let's go to Canva. So we'll do create a design, Canva. All right, let's do this. Okay, 175. So we're gonna go right here to the top to create a design in Canva. I'm going to, I want it to be, yeah, 1280 by 720. So we're gonna utilize. There's many ways to be able to get this done, but I'm going to do a custom size. Do 1280 by 720. You can see that it is even coming up with some suggested sizes there, but 1280 by 720. If we go into StreamYard, let's go into the test room. You'll see that it's recommending 1280 by 720. When you're designing for StreamYard, you can design with that, but sometimes if you want to use something in multiple platforms, you would design it at 1920 by 1080 so that, you know, StreamYard can down convert it. But the issue becomes when it's a video, you really do need it to be that size, because if you don't, it's going to be too big. Keep that in mind. So here, these are the requirements, right? So the requirements are that the recommended size is 1280 by 720, max file size is 200 meg, max video length is 10 minutes. You're never gonna get 10 minutes with 200 meg ever. And then of course the file type is MP4. So as long as you have those in your mind, now you can create a countdown. So we come here, we go to 1280 by 720, let's create new design, and just come over here to video. See where it says video right here, video, and I'm just gonna do timer. So there's a number of them that come up here. Yeah, there's a number of them that come up here, and you could use any one of these. I would say, you know, any one of these would be useful. Now, the one way would be to add the timer to a video you've already created. That's a little more hectic, but let's just say we want to do this one. Boom, we do that one. I'm just gonna have it set as video background. Boom, set as video background. So that's all I did was just set as video background. And now I've got a 30-second countdown. The only other thing that I might want to do, maybe, is add like a logo or something. Let's see. I'm trying to do this the most simple way. That was the requirement, right? It was the simplest way possible. All right. Man, I upload way too much stuff. That's what it boils down to. I had to clear out my Canva storage because clearly I got too much stuff in here. I'm still scrolling. That's crazy. Incubator's couch. I was looking for how it all works. There it is. All right, so I'm just gonna put this here, put it in the middle on the side, and man, so I'm gonna click this and see, can I change the color? Ooh, no. No, I can't change the color, but I can just, you can see what that video looks like now. Boom, how it all works. You got that in the middle there. Maybe I have a flyer or something that talks about the live show. Okay, boom, let's do this one. All right. And one trick that I always do, if I want to make sure if that something is the same size, see how that, I just put that, boom, put it to the side, make sure it's touching that one, and make sure that's touching that one. Now I can just drag this one right here, live show starts in, just drag it to it. Now I know for sure it's the same, they're both the same size. All right, now we click on share, we click on download, MP4, quality is 720p. I would pull this down to 480p. And the reason for that is because you need the file size to be small enough to where it can fit, where you can upload it to StreamYard. So we click download, and that's going to take a second, but you know, this is one of the ways. This is one of the ways that we can do this. I wanted to show you one of the ways that it's possible to be able to get this done. All right. And while that's doing its own thing, I did want to come back over to here and see about my comments and questions. All right, here's what we got. Canva bought Affinity. The designs are fuming. Oh gosh. All right. Brian Jones is here. Thank you so much for being here. What's up? Definitely loaded question on their podcast. Let's help our brothers out by hitting the like button. It's free. Thank you so much. On their next, Tessie says Canva bought Affinity. Yeah, I like it, Tessie. Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us today. So I'm going to go back into live demo mode. That shows you what it looks like on my screen. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into a scene. We're going to go to preview mode. All right, preview mode. And I'm going to go to a scene. So this is a countdown scene that I have. All right, this is a countdown scene. So one of the other ways that you can make a countdown is you can go into Ecamm, pull up your countdown scene that's already designed, hit the record button, but you have to change you want to change the quality level to lowest component, like maybe 480p, like we did for Canva, but change it to that, and then just hit record. Maybe set this to 30 seconds as well. So right now it's 3:33. And put that to 00. Put it as 33 seconds and hit save. And then now that's a 30-second, and I'm in the background doing my thing. Maybe I play some music. Maybe I do whatever. Come on. Let's go. Live show starts in. So that's another way. You could just record this, upload this, and it's ready to go. So I wanted to show that to you. We come out of live demo mode, and we're back. We're back. Host solo. There we go. So let's do that. Let's publish. Back to live. Now let's go back over here where our design has finished downloading. We're gonna go back to Canva. We'll go to our video clips, and I'm going to add video clip. Downloads. There's the untitled design. It's 167K, which is way underneath the amount that we needed, but you get the point. You want to make sure it's underneath 200 meg. But I mean, how long was that? That wasn't long at all. Oh, countdown clock. Done. Custom even. I mean, yeah. So this is I've given you 2 ways to be able to do a countdown clock in StreamYard, utilizing Canva. There are many other ways, and I really didn't even optimize this. I definitely could have exported it at a higher quality so that it doesn't look as grainy. But you just have to understand that when you're dealing with StreamYard and the clips are what they are here in terms of 200 meg, 1280 by 720, they're not going to be the top quality. Now, here's another one. This is one that I used Ecamm to create. So it's just a video, and then I have the clock here on the screen right here. That's the clock. And then I have my QR code here. And that was this is the countdown that I had created in Ecamm and then uploaded it into StreamYard. So either way, and you've seen both examples, and I hope that was meaningful for you. Hope that was helpful for you as well. That's what I wanted to do. So let me come back on the next podcast as fire. Hey, I just wanted to do something very basic, but I do want to make sure like this is completely up to you. If you want to know another easy way to get a countdown created, you can actually just go to Fiverr and say, hey, I need a countdown for StreamYard. They'll make you one for like $10 or something. So, there's many ways to make that happen. There's a lot of these kinds of resources and hacks and tips that I share in the warehouse, the Workers Warehouse, which is our community group. Would love for you to be able to check it out. It's a huge resource center. But yeah, 17 of you on the live today, and the only person that asked a question is on their next podcast. Let me make sure I am not missing any other questions. I've just unstarred his question. Yeah, Ecamm seems to have stronger transparency features. Yes, no doubt about that. But I mean, look, it is kind of what it is at this point in terms of what are you using? How are you utilizing it? Are you leveraging it to its full capacities? Those are all things you want to be mindful of. So yeah. What's the PC answer for Ecamm? I don't have a Mac. All right, so let me answer in 2 parts. Thank you so much for your question, Computer Pal. I would answer in 2 parts. I would answer by saying, first of all, vMix is the Ecamm competitor from a Windows perspective. So vMix, and I'm going to go to that. I feel like I'll mess this up. Anyway, here it is. So vMix is that. You can see vMix here, live production and streaming software. It does everything. vMix it works on Windows, but you know why you've never heard me talk about vMix? Learning curve. sorry. The learning curve on that thing is crazy. But I have seen people do some absolutely phenomenal things with vMix. I just am not in the Windows world right now, and I don't have a strong enough Windows computer to run vMix and actually create content on. So I was like, well, I just can't do content on vMix anymore. So that's where I'm at. But vMix definitely would be like the Windows version of Ecamm, except that Ecamm yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, guys. I don't know that there's an exact science here. So But vMix, to just the basic answer to your question is like, what's the PC answer for Ecamm? vMix, no doubt about that. And if somebody were to say, what's the Mac answer for vMix, right? Because vMix is not compatible for Mac. Most people would tell you Ecamm. The reason why I pause is because there are some significant differences between both the platforms. They are not, they're not a mirror copy. It's not like one is the other. There's some significant differences between the two platforms. So just the approach and the design, the way you build out a show. Yeah, I don't know. But vMix would be that answer. So the reason why I said I'm going to give you 2 parts. So, because I wanted to answer your question right on its face. Number 1, the answer is vMix. But the second part of that answer is what's preventing you from getting, okay, let me do top down, from getting a Mac Mini. Let's zoom back out. Okay. You can't see it, but this is a Mac Mini right here. It's sitting on my desk. It is a M1 processor, 16 gig of RAM, and I'm running Ecamm on it. And I can record and stream in 4K on this Mac Mini. This Mac Mini right now will cost you under $500. So if you have a keyboard, mouse, and monitor, this Mac Mini can basically get you into the Ecamm ecosystem. And that's going to be, in my opinion, cheaper than going the vMix route. I hope that makes sense. But that's why I said it's a 2-part answer. I can't tell you how many people I have taken through the process of making the transition from Windows over to Mac just for streaming, nothing else, just for streaming. So those are some of the things that you would want to consider, because if you like what you see here, right? And this is like, first of all, can we drop a bomb for Computer Pal? There's a bomb for Computer Pal, because Computer Pal had just gave us a super sticker. Let me put that up on screen. $5 Computer Pal, character holding their head. Incredible. Thank you so much, Computer Pal, for your support, for being here with us today. You've been commenting on our videos a lot lately. Yes, the Mac Mini is that cheap, and that's why I always challenge people to think through, like I said, let me go back to my regular here. I wanted to answer your question. I wanted to just answer your question and say, here's your answer, right? So that that's what we do here in the Coaching Corner. We want to give you the answer, but we also want to give you context. And that's what I see your comment. Florence. But that's what Florence was referring to when she put that link up, like, coaching, you can connect on a deeper level with Coach Kirk. I thank you. But that's what we want to do in the Coaching Corner. I want to give you a taste of what that's like. I'm going to answer your question, but then I'm going to challenge you a little bit. Now, I'm assuming you're familiar with Ecamm because you phrased your question by saying, what's the Windows equivalent to Ecamm? Because I don't have a Mac. My question to you is, now that we've answered your question, why don't you have a Mac? There was a time where a Mac was ridiculously expensive, very much prohibitive, but it is to the point now where you can actually get a Mac Mini for $500. It's absolutely crazy. And I bought mine used, but it was still in the box. Plastic was still on it, but I bought it used. I bought it for $400. So I'm saying that to you to say, this machine, I don't do anything on it but stream. Nothing else but streaming. This computer over here, this is where I do all my work. This is where I do my design, my graphics, this is where I respond to emails, do my Zoom meetings, coaching calls. I do all that over here. This machine is used for streaming and recording. So I create content here, essentially live streaming and recording my videos. That's what I do here. So It was such a cost-effective solution. I was able to buy one and put it aside and dedicate it just for content. And so that's my question to anybody that's kind of in that realm. I want to ask, what would be the deterrent of actually having you purchase a Mac? Okay, so now we've dealt with that side. Let's go here. Okay. Right. Here we go. I want to make this even bigger. So this is Amazon.com. This is a Mac Mini M1 chip, 8 gig of RAM, 256S. This is the exact machine that I'm using right now. And look at what the price is. And that's not even from Apple. Now this is used, but I'm saying this to somebody, like I walked a coaching client through this process recently, and she's a Windows person, completely Windows, although she does have an iPhone. I'm just gonna pause there. So that's a whole nother story. But she has an iPhone, and she's a Windows person. She's been using Windows she's in finance, and so finance folks, mostly their applications are geared towards Windows machines. So she'd been in Windows for pretty much all her life, but now she's kind of breaking into this whole content creator world. She wants to start creating content on a regular basis. She wants to use Ecamm. She's just kind of like, I don't really want to use. So I was like, look, you already have your machine, your Windows machine that you're comfortable with, where you do all your work on. Why not just get a streaming computer? It's just like, oh, isn't that gonna be a lot of money? I was like, do you have a monitor and keyboard, mouse? She's like, yeah, I have all of those just laying around. So we were able to grab her one of these. We actually got it for a better price because we bought it used on one of those random websites that was in their city near her. We got the machine set up, installed everything we needed to install on it. This is not, the monitor I'm using with this is not a Mac monitor. The keyboard I'm using with the Mac Mini is not a Mac keyboard. That's $389. Now, your other question was, how much is Ecamm? And you might not be able to see those numbers, but that's for the Pro version, which I would recommend nothing other than the Pro version. It's $384 for the year. For the year. Like, you do know that StreamYard is more expensive than Ecamm. Uh-oh. These are the things that I do when I have these sessions with folks. These are the kinds of realizations that we end up making, and people are like, why? I'm like, so StreamYard is web-based, and what StreamYard has done is they've bolted onto their platform and basically Zoom with on air. And then they've also bolted onto their platform an entire video library and repurposing suite. You can edit your video, you can reshare your videos directly, you can embed your videos straight from StreamYard. You can't do any of that stuff with Ecamm. So, because of the two different models, Ecamm is laser focused on being your creation suite on your computer, both live, pre-recorded, and for your content that you're gonna produce and put on online. Ecamm is a suite just for that. And that comes in the Pro version. Don't forget about the standard. Forget it. I wish they would remove it from the page. The Pro version is $384. And that's it. That's it. I'm not I'm not sharing anything. That's it. I just wanted you to see that. I wanted you to see that. I wanted you to understand why I answered your question the way that I answered your question. Okay. And I want to say again, whoa. These are coming in quick at this point. Super chat. The game is definitely appreciated. Daily provided value. Thank you so much on their next podcast. Thank you. All right, let me go back a little bit. I see that David Hunt says, I see Equip Institute, K Coach Kirk. Yes, sir. Yeah. Kerwin Bornell came in earlier, and that's what he called me, and I was like, you might be onto something. So you guys might see something change up here pretty quick. Coach Kirk with a K. That's actually dope. All right, but yes, Computer Pal says, I did not know the Mac Mini was that cheap. Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, we have a question from Ibrahim saying, it's Mac Mini 2018. The one that I'm using is not, I don't believe it's 2018. I think it's 2020. It's the first M1 Mac. It's the first M1 Mac Mini. So I don't believe it's 2018. I believe it's 2020. Yeah. I don't even know why I'm doing all that. I could just go to the Apple and go to About This Mac. Yeah. Yep. M1 2020. It's not 2018, Ibrahim. It's 2020. It's got to be M1. If it's not M1, forget it. Get you an M1. And if you can get 16 gig of RAM, definitely do that. It'll handle 4K content a lot better. But if you may be at a base level where you don't really care about any of that stuff right now, you just want to start using Ecamm, the M1 Mac Mini 8 gig of RAM, which is what I currently have right here, that will work for you. Just letting you know. So, and I just want to say a word of thanks. Let me drop a bomb on their next podcast in the super chat. Thank you so much for that. Truly appreciate it. Didn't have to, but you did anyway. And I want to say thanks. Let's see here. Yes, that's the link I was looking for in the chat. If you want to try out, if you want to get a trial of Ecamm, kirkrnewton.live/Ecamm will give you a trial. But don't bother with the standard plan. If you're going to purchase Ecamm, go for the Pro. Take it from me. It's a waste of time to get the standard plan. Get the Pro. Get the Pro and be done with it. It is a best $384 I spend every year, even though I don't spend that amount. That's a whole nother story for another time. Okay, Computer Pal says, never used a Mac, never used Ecamm either, but I like what you have been demonstrating. I will say, you are a Mac is far easier to use than a Windows machine. You're already ahead of the game. In my opinion, if you use Android or Windows, you're more advanced. I'm sorry to all my Apple people out there. I'm really not sorry. But you got to know that Apple intentionally keeps it, simple. They want grandmas to be able to use the joint. And so let me continue that story. I was talking about this coaching client who went ahead and purchased a Mac Mini. And I said to you, but she did have an iPhone. Okay. What she ended up realizing is as soon as she started using the Mac, there's so much stuff that was already native to her because she has been using an iPhone. She didn't realize how much of that stuff would transfer. And as we are talking today, I can tell you she's completely switched. She no longer is a Windows person. Now, that was not my intention. In my household, we use all of the above. We use Chromebooks, we use Pixel, we use Windows machines, Microsoft Surface tablets, and Surface all-in-one computers are phenomenal. But then we also use Mac Minis and we also use MacBook Pros for our work. So I'm equal opportunity, as you have seen, right? I use StreamYard, I use Ecamm, I use Restream, I use EVMux, I use them all. It just depends on which tool I need to bring out of the box for a particular client project. That's Kirk. I've always been that way because I'm a techie. That's the part of me that I bring into this streaming world. So I would just say, Computer Pal, somebody like you who knows computers, period, you're not gonna have any problem. If you decide to, and again, this has to make sense for you. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. It has to make sense for you. Yeah, JJS Tech is agreeing. It's pretty simple. So, hey, EBM Scholars, what's going on? Thank you so much for coming through. I'm a window person though. I have iPhone. I tried to use Mac and brought it, but it was so strange. I'm surprised because, like I said, people who use iPhone, especially if you really dive into a Mac, it should be a very similar ecosystem to what you're already used to. That's a word. StreamYard pricing versus Ecamm pricing. People often are surprised. Why is StreamYard more? Yes. Okay. So I kind of responded to this one, JJS Tech. It's because of some of the functionality that StreamYard has built into it. Can I be honest? I also asked the same question. I also ask the same question regularly. Why is StreamYard more? I pay for both subscriptions annually, and I am paying more for StreamYard than I am for Ecamm. And I regularly ask the same question. Now, I've given you an answer. I don't know if that is the answer. I don't have a clue how they came up with their pricing model, but the pricing that I showed you on the website for Ecamm is not what I pay, because I got Ecamm a long time ago. And when you buy Ecamm, you lock in current pricing. So you may buy Ecamm next year and you will not pay $384. You may pay $584. Somebody in the back just caught it. When Ecamm realizes what they have, because the fact that you're asking that question, JJS Tech, is because you know that Ecamm is worth more. And there's gonna come a day where Ecamm is like, you know what? We're gonna charge what we're worth. I just did a video on my channel just now talking about how virtual camera allows me to take my entire production from Ecamm into StreamYard. StreamYard then becomes a vehicle just to be able to stream. Okay, I'm done. Okay, this is the question I was trying to get to. So is Ecamm a download? Now you're seeing the difference. Tier 3 and Tier 2. This is a Kirk distinction. You will hear me say this often. Tier 1 streaming is your mobile phone. Tier 2 streaming is web-based, browser-based, EVMux, Restream Live Studio, StreamYard, BeLive, Melon app. These are all web-based streaming platforms that you go into your browser, you open up the studio, and you stream from there. Those are Tier 2. And Tier 2, wild functionality, right? Especially some of the stuff that EVMux has done. It's crazy what you can do in a browser-based studio, not installed. And what that opens up for you is the ability to have somebody come in and assist. Somebody can be a remote, somebody can manage comments where you might be managing the main stage, or somebody else is managing backstage. You can do all that stuff with your browser base, because you can have other people come in and help you produce the show. Tier 3 is locally installed. That means it's a lot bigger footprint, and it requires the horsepower of your computer, not your browser, not your web, but your computer, to be able to run. The encoder is built in to the application. So what are the examples of Tier 3? OBS, my least favorite. vMix, which I just talked to you about today. Wirecast. I keep on forgetting the name. I always want to say some Wireshark, which is a tech term for something totally different, but Wirecast, and then Ecamm. Those are your Tier 3 streaming platforms that you install on your computer and you use it to run your live show. So yes, it's a download. Yes, you install it and you just run it on your computer. Now, what are the pros and cons? When I have a computer outage of any sort, whether it's power or the machine just decides to reboot, if I'm streaming with a Tier 2 streaming application, which is web-based, the stream will continue to go until I'm able to get restarted, get reconnected to that session in the browser, and I can continue streaming as if nothing happened. And I've done that many times. I was live for Black Friday. I was using Ecamm to stream, but I was going through StreamYard to Amazon Live. And I was live on Amazon. Something happened to my computer. I was able to, in StreamYard, put up a screen saying, "Be right back," reboot my computer, bring back up Ecamm, reconnect to StreamYard, take down that overlay, and now I'm back. No one knew. No, nothing was affected. I didn't lose my, I think it was I'm 200 and something viewers at that point. So these are some of the complexities. These are the reasons why you start to see like, okay, now I understand why Kirk has all these tools in his toolbox, because they do slightly different things. Still haven't really necessarily explained why one is more expensive than the other, but I just wanted to kind of give you some context, and I hope that that's meaningful for you. All right. I see Ecamm is complicated. I do use StreamYard, so convenient for me. Listen, whatever allows you to get your projects done, in my opinion, is the best platform for you. I was literally getting ready to do a StreamYard masterclass this past Sunday. So am I a fan of StreamYard? Yes. Do I understand why it costs what it costs? No. But they have market share right now. They have brand recognition. If there is a heap, they're the king. So they're the guys who everybody's trying to topple. That's just the way it is. But I like Ecamm for the flexibility, for the functionality, the way that it works. My mind, it's just like this. And I will say this, Ernest, if we were to do a session, me and you were to do a one-on-one session, Ernest is EBM, by the way. So just for those, I'm saying his name and not his channel name, because you're looking in the chat like I don't see an Ernest. But EBM Scholars, if we were to do a one-on-one session and we were to look at both StreamYard and Ecamm, and I show you how to run a show in StreamYard, which would make sense to you because you've been doing it, and I show you how to run that same show in Ecamm, you'd be like, yo, that's like 20 clicks less per scene. Yeah. It is more prep work, but once it's done, you just go next. And some of those next you don't even have to press, because if you're playing a bumper video, it'll just automatically go to the next scene. Okay, I'm done. All right, JJ's Tech says StreamYard's quality cannot be compared to what? Maybe I missed the StreamYard's quality cannot be compared to StreamYard though. Maybe I think you meant Ecamm, but I don't know at what point. So maybe we'll come back to that one. Kirk, is there a product discount using the link? It's not a discount. You get the trial. You get a trial for it. He came back and asked it again. Thank you so much. Noted. I'm going pro. Yeah, don't do anything else other than pro. When are you using Ecamm and when StreamYard? I never use StreamYard for me. So just keep that in mind. If you're on my channel, you are not going to see StreamYard. You're going to see Ecamm. For my clients, however, I use StreamYard like maybe 2-3 times a week. So that's the framework that you just have to kind of keep in mind. Generally speaking, I use StreamYard for clients. You know, the client, just depending on how the client show is set up, and if they want somebody to manage comments, I need to be able to bring in another producer. I can't do that with Ecamm, so that's where I'm at. But yeah, generally speaking, I do that. All right, thank you for the question. E012 says, when considering pricing, it is important to remember that web-based platforms encode data on servers, allowing guests to remain connected even if the main computer is offline. That's exactly what I was just sharing a second ago. So that's another reason why, there's a lot more server infrastructure that is required from somebody like a StreamYard or an EVMux, who are in that tier 2 streaming platform category. Restream Live, there's a lot more server infrastructure and overhead that they have to pay for, that again you would have to then make sure that pricing is included for your monthly amount. But you're going to be able to see some things. and this is not exactly true. So that's not exactly true. Ecamm doesn't have the expenses of cloud. That's not true, because Ecamm's entire interview mode infrastructure is all cloud-based. So that's not true. I think Iran is from EVMux. I think you work for EVMux. Is that correct? I believe that is. I believe that's true. But either way, Ecamm's entire guest infrastructure, if you've ever used interview mode, it's all cloud-based. So there's that whole component of it that you'd have to deal with as well. JJ's text says true. Don't delay. Increase your investment. I like it. Facts on facts. Heavy game today on the next podcast. Says best way to use StreamYard and Rumble. Best way to use StreamYard and Rumble. I'm not sure if that's I don't know if you're asking a question. All right, cool. Can you do a webinar in Ecamm? No. I don't even know. I guess I don't understand the question. So the answer is no. Ecamm does not have a webinar platform. Yeah, maybe let me just leave it there. Let me not add anything to it. If you're looking for StreamYard on air from Ecamm, that's simply not there. Now, to be clear, StreamYard on air, which is their webinar platform, none of the other tier 2 streaming platforms have that either. Restream doesn't have that. EVMux doesn't have that. So go down the line. Generally speaking, webinars are done in Zoom. And now that StreamYard has added on air, you can do them there. Now, can you do Ecamm? Can you use Ecamm to manage your webinar in Zoom? Yes, you can. So it's just about understanding the way that you're going about it as well. Thank you so much. BGS is here with us today. I understand this quite well since I use Teradek Prism for encoding and the Teradek Core for multi-streaming. The issue is that the quality of StreamYard is poor for what they charge. Totally agree. I don't know if that's what you were saying, JJS Tech, before. Because I saw your comment earlier and I was like, yeah, because you were saying StreamYard's quality cannot be compared to StreamYard though. And I wasn't sure what you meant there. So I don't know if this is kind of you expanding on that comment, but I could not agree with you more. It's something that I have actually raised with the StreamYard folks saying, man, why is the quality not, why does 1080p not look like 1080p? Why does 4K? Well, they don't have 4K. Why does 720p not look like 720p? You get the idea. Anyway, Ecamm for the win. Tell them Kirk. I can only tell them what I use. That's where I'm at with it. But you know, it is what it is. All right. I was using OBS, but switched to StreamYard. So easy. It is so easy. No doubt about it. And web-based streaming platforms are easy. They are. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. They are. And listen, as I coach people, I've got somebody who's going to do their first live stream toward the end of this week. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, they're doing their first live stream on Friday. I'm not walking them through Ecamm. Nope. I've got them on a free account of StreamYard just to get their feet wet. I've done that with, I can't even count how many people I've done that with. I think that tier 2 streaming, using a browser-based platform to stream, is easier than streaming from your phone. I really do. I think it's the easiest way to get started in streaming. But I often tell folks, once you start feeling the walls closing in around you, right? You start to feel the limitations of the box they've placed you in. It's time to start looking at another platform that's going to give you the flexibility and the functionality you want to design the show that you want to deliver. The moment you say to your audience, I can't do this because StreamYard doesn't allow me to, that is a moment where you now just need to start saying, I need to look at another platform. The platforms can't get to decide what I'm going to do with my show. No, you get to decide. And that's why I cover all of them. And this has just been a really great way for me to kind of just describe why my channel is the way that it is. People often say to me like, man, I thought you were just going to stick with this kind of content or this platform or this platform. If I stuck with one platform, I could get a brand deal and I could be, golden. But I, in good conscience, couldn't do that because I wanted to be able to cover all the platforms so that you can see some of the differences, why I might use one over the other in a particular instance. Those are the kinds of things that I think are beneficial to those that are subscribing to my channel. My channel is not StreamYard. My channel is not EVMux. My channel is not Ecamm. My channel is my channel. And my channel, I'm going to cover all of them and tell you what the pros and cons are. Simply put. And I like to compare and pit them against one of like, ooh, EVMux got this. I wonder what these guys are going to do. Ooh, look at what Ecamm has done. I wonder what these guys are going to do. Ooh, look what StreamYard has come up with. I love doing that stuff. because I'm a consumer at heart, not a fanboy of any. I am a consumer. And the best tool in the box to use to get the job done is the tool I'm going to take out. That's my philosophy. All right. Is that with Kirk graphic with code made with Canva? No, it's not made with Canva. It's made, I have a QR code generator account that I use. So you're talking about this guy right here. It's not a with Kirk graph. Oh, okay. So with Kirk is made in Canva. The bars are made in Canva. This whole overlay was made in Canva, but the QR code was generated by this QR code generator. So I don't know, maybe I might be mistaking your question slightly, but I hope that you kind of get the idea. I generated the QR code, uploaded it to Canva, and added it to this overlay. So you have the coaching corner up here, you have the bars on the bottom, you have with Kirk in the middle, and you have the QR code on the side. All of that was created in Canva. Just that I didn't generate the QR code. Hopefully that answers the question. Thank you so much for being here, JP, the IT. It's been a minute, brother. Haven't seen you in a while. I want to live stream to Rumble with StreamYard. What is the best way? Rumble, I believe you have to use RTMP. There's no direct integration. And so if you understand, if you can get your, man, dude, I just did a quick search and there's an entire article of how to do what you just asked BGS and IB Moore. There's an entire article. Now, I just want to say this. I'm going to put that in the chat for you, but I want to say this. RTMP is a generic streaming protocol that all platforms have. What we are so used to doing with platforms like StreamYard and even Ecamm and others is that we have these integrations, and the integration makes it so that we don't need to do an RTMP stream key and URL. We don't need to because we have that direct integration. But Rumble and StreamYard, in your case, don't have the integration. So you would have to get the RTMP URL and stream key from Rumble, input that into StreamYard, and you can stream. So I've put an article from StreamYard into the chat for you, and I hope that you can grab that. Thank you, David, for making sure everybody hits that like button. I'm over my time already. Aha. He says, okay, I got you. Platforms can't decide how you want to do your show. Facts. And that just explained the way I feel with StreamYard. Ecamm, here I come. Listen, on their next podcast, man, you listen. Let's check it out together, man. Let's look at it together. I'd love to be able to rock with you. If you're gonna make the switch, if you're gonna check out Ecamm, I'd love to be able to work with you. So, but yeah, to me, I just firmly believe, somebody says to me, hey, really want to bring in something like this. I had a client who was doing this major event and wanted to bring in social media posts from a particular hashtag. And there wasn't a great way to do that on the platform that they were currently using. And so I recommended moving to another platform, and it was like I had said a curse word or something, and I was like, I'm just trying to provide a solution to what you are trying to do. It's not possible on the current platform. And that didn't gel with them. Like, oh, if it's not possible with this platform, then I'm not doing it. I'm like, oh, my bad. You brought it up. I'm trying to accommodate your vision, right? What you have in mind for your audience, that's what I'm trying to accommodate. And you don't want to because you have an affinity towards, an affiliation with, a familiarity with a particular platform. Like, I just feel like consumers need to go back to being consumers. That's Kirk, 5,000%. Like, oh, I only drive Honda. Why? Oh, Honda's always done me right. Okay, so You don't think Honda made a dud? You don't think they have a lemon out there? Like, you don't think that the person who absolutely detests Honda doesn't have a valid case? We're consumers, and the best place for consumers to exist is when all of these platforms are competing for our attention. Yes, I said it. Let them compete. Let them compete for our attention. And you know what ends up happening when they compete? Prices go down. They innovate. We see new functions and features. Yeah. I told one lady, now this may be on the flip side. This lady was completely vested in the ecosystem for a particular streaming platform. And she's like, I really just can't switch right now because of, this and this and this. I'm like, no, your reasons for not switching are valid. So what I would recommend for you is to beat down the door of your streaming provider and say, I need this feature. And guess what? Just a few weeks ago, they just released that feature. and so what I'm saying is, you're a consumer. You're a consumer. So if somebody says to me, oh, so Ecamm's perfect. No. There's nothing perfect out there. The reason why I don't use OBS is because there's no support. Period, point blank, end of story. I need to have support. I don't pay for the functionality of Ecamm or StreamYard or any of these others. I pay for support. I pay for the ability to be able to put in a trouble ticket and have somebody respond. You don't get that with OBS. All these listservs and RSS feeds and whatnot, that's garbage. All of that to say, shift your thinking around making sure that the experience you're creating with your live show is at the top priority. I want to ensure that my audience can see the things on screen. I can have this QR code. I can shift from one thing to the next without having to do all kinds of gymnastics. So why I use Ecamm? And plus, Ecamm's design, the way that the flow works the way my mind does. And I know that that's not for everybody. That's why I don't just shove it down everybody's throat. I'm just trying to say, fam, your why will help you overcome whatever the obstacle is to ensure you have the experience, the show, the content, the platform that you envisioned, that you designed for your audience. Your why will help you to overcome. So when people say to me, it's a little confusing. Oh, okay. So when you went into StreamYard for the first time, you just got it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, when you sat down in the car for the first time, when it was a little confusing, did you just stop? Driving is probably the most difficult thing to learn, and we all do it on a regular basis. In fact, some of us are Uber drivers and Lyft drivers, and we do DoorDash, and we drive quite literally for a living. Just by saying that it's confusing is not enough. What you're basically saying to me is my why does not necessitate me to figure out that platform. And that's okay. But saying that it's confusing doesn't necessarily give me an answer. All right. I've talked way more than I should have. It's already 1:13. I'm over my time. Oh, okay. BGS Inboard says, IBMOR says, good deal. Glad that we were able to get you that link. JJS Tech says, do you think Ecamm will allow us to stream with HEVC in the near future? I am in the beta group. I have not heard that one mentioned, but I know that they've got some big things cooking. They've got a major integration with Zoom coming down the pike. That's going to be a game changer, y'all. Like, game changer. Imagine taking somebody from the audience in Zoom and bringing them into Ecamm as an additional guest without them going anywhere. That is going to be a game changer. And I think what we're seeing in the marketplace right now, especially from a live video and content creation standpoint with StreamYard and Ecamm particularly, Ecamm has done this major integration with Zoom. If I can answer, let me say that differently. Zoom has opened up their API. And so because they're opening up their API, what it means is several platforms are now able to integrate with Zoom at a much tighter level than they were before. So I know vMix is actually taking advantage of that integration with Zoom, and I know that Ecamm is actually working on theirs, and it's at the late stages of it now, where I think it's in Zoom's hands to do some of the final things, and then it'll be approved for public release. But my point is, when you see happening with Zoom opening up its API, and what you see happening with StreamYard really rolling out major features for on air, what you're seeing happening in the marketplace is that with platforms like Facebook saying, hey, you can no longer stream to your Facebook group using the API. You now have to use with streaming with RTMP. And that cuts across the board. I mean, literally cutting deep into people's pockets, because I know some people who that's their entire bread and butter. Their Facebook group is where they make all their money, and they must be able to stream there in order for it to be valid. And so what they've done is they've basically just chopped people out at their legs. And now what you're seeing with on air and Zoom integration into these streaming platforms, what you're seeing is a completely alternative approach to now running your groups. Because if I can stream into my own website using on air, if I can stream directly into a Zoom session using Ecamm, then what am I doing anything else for? I don't need to I don't need you, Facebook. I can just create my headquarters for my group on my own website, and then either use any of these platforms to be able to now integrate or speak directly to them and not have to go through any of these borrowed or rented properties. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, borrowed, rented property. Owned property is your own stuff that you pay for. So I think that this is what we're seeing. And so, because I know that that's a major thing that they have coming down the pipe, JJS Tech, I don't know where this would fall on their roadmap, but I know that they're really open. And especially if they do the work, I've sat down with both Ken and Glenn, and if they recognize that the work to be able to get a particular thing done is not going to be that much, they'll just bang it out in a night and make it available. This is just the kind of guys that they are. Yeah. That's a great question, H.265. All right, David Hunt, half the bit rate with better quality. Yes, please. Oh my word. Facts. Glad I joined today. Follow, guys. You will be glad you did. Thank you, Computer Pal, for coming through and hanging out with us. I can't wait for Zoom integration. You and me both. vMix has Zoom now. Agreed. I'm with you. I didn't even see your comment. I've seen the integration. vMix has Zoom integration now. It's already out. Ecamm will be $550 a year. LOL. It really could be, and they wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility of doing that. Zoom and Ecamm. Wow. What up, Kirk? What's going on, 24-hour boss? Love it. 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 Now, if we can only get Zoom to lower their 1080p prices, you need 10 licenses to enable it at $21 per license. Black and blue. There's a way around that. I might have to do another video. Okay. There's a way around that. There's a way around that. Yeah. So coming up in April, they are discontinuing the API that allows us to stream from third-party platforms into groups and be able to get comments back and stuff like that. You can still stream into groups using RTMP, but they're shutting it down. Yes, they're shutting it down. Why they're shutting it down, nobody knows, but it has sent the entire streaming community into an uproar. So it's been a hot button issue that we've been chatting about. FB is changing the API so encoders cannot stream to FB groups. Thank you for that. Very concise response there, Florence. Create your own brand. You told me that before. Yeah, I see now. Create your own brand. That's it. That's it. Marquise White says, using Stream Deck with EV-Mux, it has hotkey options for scene 1, scene 2, etc., but scenes aren't named that way. If I name the scenes as intro, etc., there's no number associated with that. How to organize? Very good question. And if I can be just brutally honest, I have not. So I use the Stream Deck integration with EVMux, and it does work great for a lot of the functionality that's there. But the scenes that you're talking about, they have two types of scenes, right? You have the pro scenes, and then you have, you know, kind of your regular scenes, your kind of almost like StreamYard type scenes. And the StreamYard type scenes, you can actually, you know, marry those to your Stream Deck pretty easily. But I would need to look at the other one. I thought you could, when you created a pro scene, I thought you could just marry that maybe. And it sounds like what you're saying that you can't. So, I'll have to look at that one. Marquez White. Thank you so much for the question. I thought it was an easy, I thought that it would be the same way. And maybe it's something I need to put up my notes. Let me go ahead and pull up my notes right here. Okay. In fact, I'm gonna take a screenshot of the screen right now so I have your question. Marcus White. Thank you. Hey, Marcus White, if you don't mind, just drop, when the video is done, drop an actual comment underneath the video and I may be able to respond. Or you can drop an email to info@howitallworks.com. One of my moderators will put that in the chat. So hopefully you're still here, because that is a great question and I want to be able to help you get that answered. Whoa. I didn't even know that was an option. Okay. But yeah, I would like to be able to help you get that answered. So Black and Blue says, do tell. Oh, okay. David Hunt is kind of answering. There's a way around it. You have to send an email to Zoom support to request it. If you have Ecamm, I have and was on the support and they said, sorry, bro. Really? I think what you're talking about is sending an email to enable 720p. I did that and have 720p, but I want 1080 though. Okay. Yeah, no, Marcus, drop me an email, info@howitallworks.com. I'm going to find, are you familiar with Alec? Am I saying Alex? Is it Alec? Take One Tech. Take One Tech is the name of his channel on YouTube. He did an entire step-by-step process of what to do to enable 1080p with Zoom. And then also my good friend Cat Mulvihill, Alec Johnson, I think is his name, but Cat Mulvihill also has a whole thing that she does. Yes, Alec Johnson. Okay, thank you. Also does a whole thing about how to, you know, get higher quality video from Zoom. So yeah, look, everybody's helping me out here. Alec Johnson. Yes. My bad. Just blanked on the last name. I knew his name was Alec. I just was like, Johnson. I don't know. It didn't fit at the time. Yes, it makes sense now. Take One Tech and Cat Mulvihill, they both have channels here on YouTube and they both cover this particular issue. So I just, you know, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, I just want to find what they said. And maybe you're right. Maybe they were talking about 720p, but I thought they were talking about 1080. And I have a client project. It's been a while since I've had to do something in Zoom. Because a lot of clients I work with, they don't do Zoom, but I will look into it. I'll look into it. And if you don't find it, again, Black and Blue, thank you for the question, because it does allow us, you know, to have that further conversation. But yes, that integration with Zoom and then being able to get the higher quality video is definitely something to look into as well. But thank you for your 22 of you guys on the live today. That was a fire series with Alec. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. He did this. He did it at Creator Camp as well. He went through the whole Zoom. Him and Daniel Chi, they both went through the whole Zooms. You know what you need to do to integrate stuff. They also talked about utilizing live video in Keynote, which I had not done before. That was mind-boggling to me. I was just like, why is Keynote here? Okay. But this has been a great coaching corner today. Lot of information shared, a lot of questions asked. I hope that you got gained some perspectives. This is what we hope to do on Wednesdays whenever we don't have a coaching client. 16 of you guys have hit the like button and 23 of you are on the live right now. I am just happy that we were able to engage today. It's been a minute since we were able to kind of do this, and I like to just have no client, no guest, where we can just engage together and I can share some of my perspectives. Sometimes we will agree, sometimes we won't. I know some of you you may not have agreed with some of the things I shared today. That's okay. This is what I love about being a consumer. we can differ. You should have a strong opinion. You're paying your hard-earned money to these platforms for the stuff that they're providing us. We should have strong opinions about it. Real talk. That's where we should be. And so that's where I want to leave you today. I can't thank you enough for your time and attention. It's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Thankful that you came and hang out with me for an hour and 25 minutes. It's been absolutely phenomenal. Coaching Corner with Kirk is on Wednesdays at noon Central Time. That is the Lord's time. That's Kirk. That's another Kirk thing. And I hope to see you either at another Coaching Corner, one of our morning motivations, even maybe the Why I Go Live podcast, or in some other video around these internet streets. Take care, fam. Make it a great one. Later. Make sure to subscribe. And if you watched all the way through the video at this point, catch a replay.